What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I'm going to be talking about another stupid decision that NRS has made. And honestly, this has been one of the hardest videos that I have ever had to record because I find myself like not believing that they could do something this stupid while I'm trying to break it down. Because with this video, I have to break down why this decision is so dumb because I understand there's a lot of people in the NRS community that don't understand the tournament scene and how it works. So I'm trying to break it down why this decision is so dumb, and it's kind of hard to do, so bear with me here. So let's start off with this stupid decision that NRS has made that, again, makes the community look like a bunch of crybabies to the rest of the FGC, but they don't understand the incompetence of what we deal with, which is NRS. Because if this happened to Street Fighter, their community, if this happened to the Tekken community, they would be rioting. And let me explain what that is. So, NRS decided to release Homelander, obviously. Homelander came out with a lot of bugs. He is a buggy character. And then Cyrax came out with bugs too, which his bug was his nerf got reverted. In case you don't know, Cyrax was dominating the beginning of the game's life cycle. For around 2 to 3 months, he was running things. They ended up nerfing him to the ground to the point where he was unusable. I don't want to say unusable, but he wasn't really good. So, of course, a lot of people stopped using him. They found other meta assists. Me included, I was a person that, used Cyrax because everybody did. And I was going to have people hit me with it and me not using it as well. And personally, being somebody that used him, I even thought he needed nerfs as well. But I can also say that I don't think that they should have went that far. They killed him. They really did kill the assist. And he probably makes up for what, 3-4% of the assists used now in competitive play, but he's not really used that much. So fast forward to now, he has been accidentally reverted back to his original state. And the competitive players aren't happy about that for obvious reasons. They have been grinding almost an entire year for around 8 months to get into Final Combat. So imagine being one of those players that grinded. You sweated your heart out. You qualified for Final Combat. That's supposed to be the big prestigious event for Mortal Kombat. And they themselves, NRS, they promised that they wouldn't make any big balance changes before Final Combat. Because obviously, why would you make a big balance change when players have grinded the game at a current state? It makes sense. A lot of other games that run tournaments do that as well. Because they're like, Street Fighter, the main one, they're like, yeah, we're not going to put out a big balance patch because, Evo's coming up. So it's the smart thing to do. And Final Combat is kind of like Mortal Kombat's Evo in a way, or their Capcom Cup equivalent. So it wasn't a smart, so it's not a smart decision for a big change to be made, right? Yep. Nope, not according to NRS, even though they promised they wouldn't do it. Let's go ahead and bring up this tweet right here. We are aware of the changes affecting Cyrax cameo and issues impacting Homelander. Cyrax will remain as he currently is for Final Combat, but we are working on adjustments for him, as well as Homelander related fixes for a patch releasing shortly after Final Combat. So, let's break down why this is so incredibly dumb. NRS, they say, hey, we know there's a big event coming up, our biggest event of the year, and we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So, you know what, players? Everybody that's competed for like 8 months, we promise that we won't do anything. We won't make any big balance changes. We won't do it. Because, we don't want to disrespect the fact that y'all been grinding for all this time. And guess what they do? Make a big change. Now, quote unquote, they say it was on accident, but I don't believe it was. I feel like it was on purpose and they were doing it to test the waters, but I don't know if they were going to do it after Final Combat or, they're doing it now to test the waters, even though they promised they wouldn't. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I feel like it was on purpose. I feel like NRS has never reverted a patch before, ever, in the history of their games. And I feel like instead of them admitting that they just went overboard on Cyrax, they decided to, revert him. Now, at this time, it's just such an incredibly stupid decision because you have all these players that, like, they're mad on Twitter now, obviously, because they've been grinding the current version of the game, getting ready for all their matchups and everything. And then boom, you just go ahead and throw this meta assist that dominated the game back in it at the last second. Like, really, NRS? The the sheer amount of disrespect that NRS has to the people that play its game, like the casual players, even the competitive players, they just don't care about what anybody wants. They don't care. But at the end of the day, it's NRS. They can do whatever they want. They're a big recognized company, so they can make as many mistakes as they want. Like, people are trying to pretend like NRS ain't a part of the big three anymore. And I made a whole video addressing that. That's just wrong. Like, NRS is a huge company. Just because they don't have a huge competitive scene doesn't mean that the game isn't huge. And they don't respect anything. Like, they don't respect their players. They don't respect their competitive players. And if I was a person that traveled offline for this game, I would be beyond pissed. But, I feel like people should know better for doing stuff like that for NRS, because they just show them time after time again that they don't really care. Making a decision this massive, and why it's such a stupid idea, because they could easily be like, even if they messed up, even if they were like, okay, we really didn't mean to put Cyrax back here, this whole tweet could have been like, hey, we made a oopsie, sorry, we have a bug at the end of the life cycle, not the life cycle, we have a big bug coming up in Cyrax, oops, we messed up, y'all, but hey, we're gonna ban him. That's how that conversation should have went. It should have went, hey, we're gonna go ahead and ban him because we don't want to disrespect the freaking people that been grinding for the game for months upon end, qualifier after qualifier, online event after online event, traveling to offlines around the world, trying to qualify to get in the final combat. Yeah, we don't want to disrespect them by making a big final change in the game. Nope, not NRS. NRS don't give a crap. Because at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they want to do, and they don't care about the repercussions of the community, because the competitive community is not big enough to hurt them, and the casual base doesn't care enough to hurt anything they want. All NRS know they have to release, every couple of years, they release a game with a story mode with pretty graphics and, put some Scorpion, Sub-Zero in there, a couple new characters, boom, we make millions. That's what they do. They don't put in any effort, and it's obvious. But people just gonna keep eating it up because it's Mortal Kombat, so they can do whatever they want. At the end of the day, this decision, again, just further shows when I always be saying, they don't care. Because to disrespect your tournament players like this so much is ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous. And for all of you people that qualify for Final Combat, I understand why y'all are so mad. The casual fan base might not get it, but I definitely get why they are so mad, and I just, feel so bad for them, because now these people are scrambling at the last second. Well, should I stop playing the team I've been playing for months to pick up Cyrax to have a better chance of winning Final Combat? This would never happen in Street Fighter. This would never happen in Tekken. This would never happen in Guilty Gear, because those devs are competent enough not to make such a stupid decision before a big event. And I just want to hear the reasoning by the person that decided to make this. Like, there's not somebody up there telling y'all, hey, this is stupid. Like, y'all have multiple players that have competed in events that should know better. And I'm a name drop now, because you have what? Now, even if they don't have any power, you know what? I take it back. I'm not going to name drop, because even if those people that don't have any power, I hope they're at least telling them that, hey, this is not a good idea, because they have around 3-4 people that are currently working for them that competed in events. Y'all are not telling them that, hey, this is so stupid. This is disrespectful. Why would y'all do this? But no, they're just going to make another decision that's stupid and then have, people be mad about it. But at the end of the day, hey, it's big old NRS. They got buckets of money. They can do whatever they want. They can disrespect their community time after time again and get away with it. And at the end of the day, this was a really dumb decision. I feel like if they wanted to revert the nerf, and even if it was on accident, just say, hey, we messed up. We're sorry. We're going to ban Cyrax for Final Combat because we don't want to disrespect our competitive players. That's all they had to do at the end of the day. But they didn't. So Final Combat is going to be interesting to watch. At the end of the day, it could not be a big deal because people might not decide to pick Cyrax. But now you know, if somebody does win Final Combat with Cyrax, they're gonna have an asterisk by their win because people weren't getting ready for that character. They know that they have to now, but it might not be enough time for them. But at the end of the day, this is how I feel about it. You know, any other opinions about this, I really don't. I'm not gonna say I don't care. It's just if you defend NRS, a lot of people like to defend NRS with their dying breath. But if you defend this, you're either ignorant to the competitive scene or you're just a shill at the end of the day. Because there is no defending this. Just like when in Mortal Kombat, they had a last Mortal Kombat 11, they had a last chance qualifier event. And this was around COVID. And they decided to cancel the event as people were getting off the plane. That is crazy. If you were going to cancel that is one of the other things that made me realize they just don't care, because canceling an event as people are getting off the freaking plane, I should report on that because that was a big deal that people don't really talk about enough. But again, this video is getting longer than I wanted it to be. At the end of the day, you know, I feel bad for the players. I do think Cyrax is okay in his form right now because there's so many other meta assists, but it's just not a good time because Final Combat. I think they should ban him for Final Combat and then let it play out and see, does he need to stay in his final state after Final Combat. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and Nickopz out.